Hey Reactioners, today I wanted to talk about you. One of the biggest things that people run into is that they're always listening to what other people have to say, what other people think. The biggest difference between success and failure really derives from you in terms of your actions and what you think. In terms of what you're doing, it just all revolves around you, really. There's several things that you can't control in life. You can't control the weather. You can't really control with how you're going to be born, like what you're going to look like or anything like that. You can't do that. But there's several things that you can control. And these fundamentals, really, and even myself, I've gone through this a lot. If you try to just master you as a person, everything else really falls in line. Okay, so I got a couple of notes for you. So the first thing is for other people, like I was mentioning before, that everybody loves to just hear what other people have to say, but too many people depend on really what other people are saying, as they should just think that that's what they should be following. So in any line of work, you're going to have people that really believe in you and people that don't believe in you. But the fact is, no matter what, even if they're your best friend, your closest friend, or somebody who's in the same industry, doing the same thing that you are doing, whatever it is that you want, and whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you are the person who's actually putting in the work to make that happen. You're the person who's trying really hard to be a better salesperson, or a better manager, a better marketing director, a better chef, or whatever it is. You're the person putting in the work. So there's going to be plenty of other people just seeing little checkpoints of what you're doing, and all they're going to see is, cool, did you accomplish it yet, or did you not? And essentially, if you accomplished it, then that's great. They're going to say, okay, good job. But there's going to be a large amount of time where you have not accomplished anything, where it's just going to be a little step or a little brick to add to the house of experience that you have. And essentially, you're not going to look like you're incredibly successful yet. But all of these people who are going to tell you what you should be doing, they're most likely going to give you the wrong information or negative kind of feedback, because they're not going to see any difference. So one big thing that you have to understand about you is that you should be caring about what you think is going on. So not necessarily what everybody else thinks. Because all they're going to see, again, is just, did you accomplish it or did you not? They're not going to see the struggle and the mini victories that you're going to have while trying to accomplish what you're trying to get to. The second point that I have for you is that you can always improve your situation. You're always the person who's going to be the master of your universe, so to speak. So essentially, no matter where you're born, wherever you're born into, or whatever kind of family that you have, or whatever you have to help you out, like let's say if you were born into a good amount of fortune, monetarily or not, or whatever it is, you're going to be the person who's going to be able to change your situation. You can always do something to make yourself better. Let's say if you think that you're somebody who's not super intelligent academically, then you can always go to the library, pick up more books. You can always go on YouTube and see more videos. If you're somebody who's really bad at, let's say, just cooking or something of that nature, and you've never done anything with your hands, so you can always take a class. Let's say, if you don't have any money to take a class, cool, you can ask somebody, you can trade skills of something that you do know. You can always do something, no matter what. If you're somebody who's really bad at public speaking, well, you could have a place like my company. We teach you how to have public speaking, but in any case, you just get yourself in front of other people. You just do something about it. If you're somebody who's just really bad at, let's say, a specific sport that you're trying to get into, that let's say you're really short, or you're just not that big, so to speak, you still have a lot of skill. It's always a lot of technical skill that comes into high-level play for sports. So there's always something that you can do. If you're somebody who's surrounded by a bad environment, that from what you believe is a bad environment, that you have people always being negative to you, or you just don't have a good example to be around, you can actually move yourself and go live somewhere else. And that's really it. Things should be that simple. There's always going to be negativity that comes your way, and no matter what kind of negativity that there is, there's always going to be something that you can specifically do to change that. And honestly, whatever it is that you're going to do is going to be the most important thing, because there's never going to be anybody that just comes in and just solves your problems. That's never going to happen, ever. Or if there's something that you're trying to get good at, nobody's just going to come along and say, oh, okay, cool, let me just help you be better at that. You have to go find the mentor, you have to go find the solution, you have to go just make the solution yourself. A lot of people wait for miracles, but it's in plenty of books and plenty of movies that you need to be the miracle that you need to have, that you want to have, in your life. That's what you need to do. And essentially, if you're somebody who's just waiting around for something to come along to make yourself better, you're going to be waiting a long time. Like, that just doesn't happen. That never happens. Only for the people who actually just reach and just claw, they just do something about it. Those people are the people who get the results. Okay, the third point I have for you is that your mind dictates really your actions that you should be doing. So I'm very big on this. I've been a martial artist my entire life. It's very important for me to be centered or to just have something to express myself by. And every single person has something like that they have for themselves. They always love to do something, let's say an outlet, if they have just stress or if they're angry. Everybody has an outlet of something that they do to kind of just center themselves out. So it's really important that you put your mind in the right place, because once you think you could do something, honestly, you just wind up doing way better at that thing, right? Essentially, if you are just not super good at starting out in something, and if you have really just this inbred excitement about it, this excitement of just wanting to do it, or just wanting to get ahead, or just wanting to beat whoever's there, then you start really gaining traction and being able to provide results, just because you just have this natural excitement or this honest excitement. And so for the people who actually have the right mindset, they're usually the people who will usually figure themselves out. Whatever's going on in the world, honestly, time will heal everything. Time heals all wounds. If you got laid off from a job, or you actually broke up with somebody, or you're actually just like in a bad place wherever you're at, time will actually heal everything. That's just what it does. But on top of that, what compounds that is really the mindset that you have about it. If you're going to say, let's say you just got laid off from a past position, and you're going to say, you know what, I just spent 6 years with this position, and I just wasted 6 years of my life. That's a horrible thing to say. I mean, some people say that, they have the mentality for that, but you're just kind of in a losing mentality, almost like a loser mentality, because you shouldn't be thinking that you just wasted your time or whatever you were doing, whether it was janitorial work or whether you were just some kind of executive, like, it doesn't matter. But essentially for that time, that was experience. So what the winners, or people more so being positive, they would say, man, I spent 6 years in this company, and essentially I just got laid off just like that. What I need to do is I need to have what I just learned from the 6 years, I need to apply that for the next position that I'm going to dominate in. And that's what you do. It's definitely easier said than done, but honestly, for the people who try to do it more continuously, they get to know what that feeling is like. They get to know what it feels like to actually get hurt and to know how to problem solve for it right away. Like, that's what you do eventually. Eventually, when you start just doing something, let's say if we're going to take it back to sports, you start falling a lot, whatever kind of sport it is, then it kind of hurts when you first fall. And then when you just get used to it, then you fall and then you get up even faster. Or you know how to just kind of roll out of the way and you just deal with these things right away. And that's really it. So when your mind is right, when you kind of discover for yourself really what it is that you want, and when you keep going on about that in terms of discovering who you are as a person and really what you're doing to get there, then the other things on the side, it really doesn't matter too much. It doesn't matter it just doesn't matter. What matters most is just you understanding really who you are and what you're doing, or who you're doing it for, and just how much work you need to put in to go from point A to point B. So that's your mind being right, making sure that you're on the path where you want to go. And so that's really what you want to do. Alright everyone, so that's what I have for you. Your mind dictates your actions, okay? So make sure that you have the right mindset. So be sure to check out the rest of the videos that we have on Facebook and YouTube. Check out our Twitter, and